Is there a particular Latvian sound? What makes a piece Latvian in nature? I mean, obviously language and the color of the language will have something to do with that, but are there other characteristics of music when you think of your music and some of the other composers you've mentioned already, Vasks and others, that brings you together as a common voice?
You know, what is a Latvian music? What is Latvian sound, or let's call it Baltic sound,
Mm-hmm.
choral Baltic sound? Um, yes, we have had for centuries or 1,000 years, we have had our Latvians have been living here in this land, and we have had our folk songs or folklore. But the country, uh, as independent country, only was first established in 1918. But our first song festival, or nationwide song festival, was held in 1873.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this singing tradition was born 30, 40 years before the country was established.
Right.
So, in other words, our big neighbors, be it Germany, be it Sweden, be it Russia, they have been ruling over us for centuries. And we have inherited their singing traditions too. So after Second World War, when Latvia remained occupied by Soviet Union, and it was very hard to get out of Soviet Union, but in end of 60s or 70s, few Latvian professional conductors, they were allowed to travel to Scandinavia, and they learned the beautiful soft sound of Scandinavian choirs. You know, they were impressed by their sopranos and tenors singing piano in high octave.
Oh, wow.
Not falsetto, but with beautiful voice, with freedom, with full voice, but just so beautiful. And they learned it, and they came back and they incorporated that singing style also in their choirs. And in starting from 70s, 80s, last century, our choir sound started to change. So our singers learned to sing Russian Orthodox style, the heavy, powerful tutti sound from Germans, beautiful high octave voices from Scandinavia. Then we have our own folklore singing styles. And so Baltic sound is actually a mixture. Our singers have learned how to change the voice according to to the music they have to sing. And also how to perform the piece is I call it in two Latin words: legato rubato. Italian, sorry, two Italian words: legato rubato. And that's one thing. And another thing is that our choirs have learned to listen to each other. So the ensemble sound becomes so united, be it second sopranos or be it first altos or second basses or baritones. So they listen to each other. There is no soloist among them. They join their voices, and that's why the ensemble sound becomes so beautiful. You know, every single voice is adding something, and at the same time they listen to each other. So that's Baltic sound. and that's why the or singing, it flows like a river.
Mm-hmm.
It really flows because listening to each other, it takes time.
Does that training begin as children begin to sing? I mean, is that something that's already embedded in the process of learning to sing as a child, and it just becomes very natural and fluid as you mature as a singer and you know, become a member of state choir,
Yes,
right? You
yes.
sort of
So
lived this your whole life. Is that how it works?
yeah, surprisingly, um, in Soviet time, the culture was supported.
Mm-hmm.
In every town, a village, there, there was a support to have local choir, local dance group, local theater. So, and we continue to have our national song festivals every 4 or 5 years, and also song festivals for school youth, for
Right.
children.
Yes.
So you see, my children have sang in the Riga open stage where the 15,000 singers can get together in one
Yes.
stage.
Yeah.
I myself have sang. My mom has sang there. So it's a kind of family tradition for every
Absolutely.
Latvian.
Right.
And also, what was also supported that every afternoon there was a children music school. So after the school, in afternoon, children could go to children music school, which was for free, professionally to study instrument, solfeggio, to sing in choir, to play in ensemble. So the next step would be music high school and then music academy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it was for free. So this musical journey from age 7 till through all life. We have I don't know how many choirs we have in Latvia, but yeah, our open national open song festival stage can hold all singers together.
I was able to be there in 2018 for the song festival in
Wow.
Riga, and I mean, it was just breathtaking to see all of those, not only all those singers on stage, but the audience of 100,000 people sitting and just drinking in this sound for several hours. It was one of the most memorable nights that I can that I have, and just an incredible experience. And to be there amongst this community that's so dearly and deeply loves the music that is being sung and loves the act of being together. It's just such an incredible experience.
And when of course in Soviet time when we had the song festival there, every song had to be accepted by the Communist Party.
Right.
But closer to 1990s, so in 1980s somewhere, at the end of the concert, um, the singers themselves started to sing a forbidden song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course the Communist Party couldn't do anything.
How can you stop that?
Because the 15,000 just started to sing it. And we also had in that the same place, in that open stage, we had our manifestations when nation gathered in 1980s, calling for freedom, and our poets or writers or people, they just spoke to the nation and inspired for freedom. And yeah, that's very important place for our country.
Absolutely. These 30 years or so now since the Soviet Union collapsed and Latvia became a free country have really been this has maybe been one of the longest periods of freedom for Latvians, self-governing, ruling, and so on. does that change now that Latvia is free and is not being ruled by a bigger neighbor? In this case, it was Russia and Soviet Union. Does that change how culture is made? Poets and writers and playwrights and composers, of course. Has the music making changed because there's a new political freedom that's now about 30 years old?
By the way, we have now completely new open stage in the same spot.
I've seen the pictures
so
of it. Yes.
It was all taken down and now built a new version, more modern. So that's beautiful. And it can have more space for singers now. Because there is one problem for the school youth song festival, because in our schools there are more choirs but less space in the open stage. So usually several thousand singers, 2 years they learn the program, and then there is this competition to get the permission to sing together on the stage. And of course, there is no space for all of them, and few thousands have to sadly stay home. But now I think this is solved because we have now built a new one. But it's hard to say about how music has changed in the 30 years. I know that our composers or artists or painters or writers, poets, sculptors, when the Soviet Union collapsed and the borders were open, we learned from the rest of the world about their achievements in arts. We learned very fast because we were thirsty. We were thirsty for the new information. We have been kept in a cage for 50 years.
Right.
And we learned the new techniques very fast in every field of arts. And we just we continue in every song festival. There are new songs by all generation composers written. Then there are, of course, the arrangements of folk songs. So we have also the history included in the program. And every new concert, it is like a journey that the directors of every new concert program comes with their idea, be it about the homeland or be it about the sky, be it about we completely freedom. We enjoy the freedom.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And like I said, that the experience of being in Riga for that festival in 2018 is just an incredible memory that I have. And I think, we in North America, we look to the Baltics, to Latvia, to Estonia, Lithuania as these incredible examples of how important the arts are and how important music is. It's a struggle here sometimes because we don't have the same support and the same educational priorities that give our students the same kind of exposure and experiences in music and the arts. So we love to look to Latvia to see what's possible, what can be done.
But this singing tradition wasn't born in Latvia nor Baltics. The idea of this coming together and sing, it came from Switzerland and South Germany. So in the 19th century, in Latvia, we also had quite a lot Germans living. And there was a direct connection between Germany and Switzerland and Latvia, and a pastor in Latvia, he liked the Switzerland singing, how men were singing in together, be it 50 or 100 men together, and he took that idea to Latvia.
Oh, okay.
And it just started from one pastor, from one church, and the idea grew bigger, and then in 1873 we had our first singing together. And I was just in October, I was in South Germany in a choral congress, and we talked about this, the lost tradition in their country. And I was happy to hear that they are reviving this tradition. This is wonderful.
It's great. The community where I live in Kitchener-Waterloo here in Canada is a German settled community. It's still to this day, there are many German cultural institutions and so on. And in the 19th century here too, there were Sängerfests, these big choir gatherings where German speakers from all over North America would come to Kitchener-Waterloo for, 4 or 5 days and have a big festival with thousands of singers and so on. So it does take place in this world too. But being able to see the kind of response and the kind of tradition that has built and remains in Latvia is just so inspiring to us over here in North America.
No, thank you.
I know it's getting late there. It's past dark, and so I don't want to keep you much longer, Ēriks. But one final question: what do you think is the role of art, whether it's visual art, music, poetry, in a time that we're facing right now?
I can see that people can do more. I can see that people are creative people. They love to create something. Be it just an idea, be it a poem or something, but physical, with your hands, with your mouth, to create. And the world loves what people create. It opens the door of unknown territory. So the arts constantly knock at the doors, at new doors, and that's all. And even in our choirs, when we ask our singers, are you a musician? No. In our choirs, we have medical workers, drivers, all profession people, and they come to sing, because in singing there is a freedom. Suddenly we can have another feelings. We can put aside our daily duties, and suddenly we can feel our body. We can enjoy this freedom and see that together we can do this freedom. We can share this freedom, and I think it's also in all fields of art. Yeah. So And when we were living in occupation for 50 years, or not only a physical freedom was affected, but also this imagination freedom, this when we can fly in highest orbits, when we can express ourselves as with the best we can, with the best energy, with the best attitude. That was very sad. Those 50 years in Soviet Union, that was very, very, very sad. So let's remain living in freedom. Okay, let's do our daily job, but in the evenings, let's come together and sing or create. So let's multiply this freedom we have in ourselves.
That's a beautiful answer to a rather large question. So thank you for that beautiful answer, and thank you for being so generous with your time here this afternoon, and sharing with us what you're up to. We over here, of course, the choirs that I work with love to sing your music. There's something that feels very heartwarming and free about singing your music, and we appreciate the gift that you have given us through your music.
Oh, I'm glad to be helpful.
Yeah, more than helpful. I think you're right. You know, this time needs us being a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. Right? When we come together and we sing together. That's essentially what we're doing, and my choirs too sing for that same reason. Whether we're Canadian or Latvian or wherever we're from, those are the same emotions, I think, that drive us to do what we do.
Oh, give my greetings to your singers, and hopefully there will be day when we meet, when we sing together, when we create a wonderful concert together.
We will look forward to that day. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ēriks. Bye now.
Bye.